Today we're going to be covering some of the top terminologies within the Scaled Agile Framework. So what is PI planning, Agile Release Train, Inspect and Adapt Workshop, and Innovation and Planning? We're going to be covering these terms today. So without further ado, let's get started with the first one, which is PI planning. Now PI planning, people confuse this for sprint planning, which is not the case. PI planning is in fact a two-day workshop. And within the 2 days, there is the first day and the second day, there's a clear set of agenda items that you have to get through. And through this 2-day workshop, there is a couple of things that come out from this. So I'll just describe the outputs, which is PI objectives and a planning board, an art planning board, or a program board, whatever you want to call it. And this is used to execute the Agile Release Train for the next 8 to 12 weeks, roughly. So PI planning is a 2-day workshop which has a day 1 and a day 2 agenda, and the output of this is PI objectives, Agile Release Train planning board, or you might call it a planning board. Now the inputs, there's also a couple of inputs to this planning event, is the vision and the top 10 features. And that's feeding the PI planning event. Without this, none of this other stuff can happen. So what is the inputs to PI planning? Vision, top 10 features. And what is the outputs? PI objectives and team objectives and the art planning board. So a couple of things that you should keep in mind there. So that is PI planning there. Now let's get to the Agile Release Train, which is ART. And it basically stands for Agile Release Train. And what this Agile Release Train structure is, it's a way of coordinating multiple teams. So if we have a team here, a team here, a team here, a team here, and a team here, you need to have a mechanism to coordinate these teams. If you didn't have a mechanism to coordinate these teams, they will just go out of sync, out of correlation, and there'll be hanging dependencies all over the place. So the Agile Release Train mechanism is a fantastic way of grouping these teams together and sending them on sort of a train metaphor, which is stopping by each station, which is the cadence, and delivering value output accordingly. So that's the Agile Release Train. Now this Agile Release Train is actually supported, governed, facilitated by the release train engineer, the product manager, and the system architect. And the release train engineer in this case is a top, you could say a chief Scrum Master that's helping the all the Scrum Masters and all the Agile teams to be effective working on the best that they can. Product manager obviously maintains the product vision, the features, all that stuff. And the system architect is there to support the teams, and when it comes to any architectural guidance that needs to be done. So that's the system architect there, and that's the individuals that do that, okay? That's it for the Agile Release Train. Let's get to the innovation and planning thing, which is a common thing, but I want to cover innovation planning and the Inspect and Adapt workshop in one go, just to make things easier. When it comes to executing the program increment, we're talking about 8 to 12 weeks. That's the duration when it comes to this. So you've got something which looks like this. This could be an 8 to 12 week duration here, and we've got sprint 1, sprint 2, sprint 3, sprint 4, and sprint 5. So we can write that in there. Sprint 1, sprint 2, sprint 3, sprint 4, and sprint 5. The first day of the PI, we have something which is called the PI planning, which we covered. And how many days is the PI planning? Which is 2 days. And the outputs we covered as well. And then from the PI planning, the teams go and start executing. Execute, 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 execute. If you're seeing the Scrum symbol there, because they're using sprints, they're using the Scrum methodology to execute. So that's still prevalent there. And then here, we get to something which is called innovation and planning. Innovation and planning sprint. And during the sprint, we have something here which is called an Inspect and Adapt. This Inspect and Adapt workshop is a very specific half-day or full-day event. Now, don't forget, guys, innovation and planning is a sprint which is really, it's like a buffer. It's like an area where you don't execute work. It's reserved for hackathons, planning, any final verification, stuff like that. That's what it's there for. But its real purpose is to actually plan for the next PI, which is the upcoming PI. And during this time, we have something which is called an inspect and adapt workshop, which is typically speaking half a day or maybe a full day. And during this inspect and adapt workshop, all the stakeholders and all the members of the Agile Release Train get together and they review the progress and have they delivered accordingly to plan as they set out to be. So PI planning 2 days, teams start executing for the next 8 to 12 weeks, and then there's a review with the stakeholders at the end, okay? Now, we covered the inspect and adapt workshop, we've covered PI planning, and we've also spoken about the innovation and planning, and we've also spoken about the PI. So hopefully that gives you guys some good pointers there. Now, one thing before we go. SAFe has a number of techniques in there that helps you deliver value to your stakeholders and customers in a much more effective manner. To learn all these tools and techniques, they are in SAFe Scrum Master is one of the best courses to take. And from there, Advanced Scrum Master, and then also Agile Product Management, you will master a lot about SAFe. Yes, the prices are premium, but there's a reason for that, because these are top tier certifications. Certifications that help you differentiate yourself on a very competitive marketplace. You don't want to be going for CSM, PSM, which everyone's got nowadays, and it's really theoretical at the end of the day. You really want to go for something which differentiates you from the market and gives you a leading position. And SAFe is one of the best frameworks and certifications for you to do that. And where to learn this stuff, come on the SAFe Scrum Master certification, and you'll learn each and everything about what this is in a practical way, okay? So if you liked the video, give it a like and leave a comment down below. Share this video with someone that's looking to revise for their SAFe exam. Feel free to subscribe to the channel. Check out my social media links. Drop me a message on WhatsApp if you're interested to come on to the next SAFe Scrum Master training or any of the SAFe trainings. And that's it. Thank you for watching.